Hi and welcome to It's Very Zen. Today I'd like to talk about a new deck I've been working with, the Zenned Out Journey Tarot by Cassie Uhl, I want to say. I picked it up in my local Big W. I think it was only $20. It was a blind pick and I thought, why not? The reason I want to discuss this a bit is because some things I've noticed about this deck are going to be either deal makers or deal breakers for people, depending on what is important to you when you buy a tarot deck. It's got a cute little guidebook with it and not too much information that's going to overwhelm you if you're a new reader. Pages and pages of different interpretations can be quite overwhelming. This is just sharp, shiny, to the point if you're still at a point where you need a guidebook. Now, on to some of the things that I feel would either make or break a deck for people. The first thing is the backing. Now, I love it. I think it's gorgeous. That's not what I feel might be an issue for people. The fact that it is not reversible, if you read with reversals, could be an issue for people. I know a lot of people who do read with reversals prefer their backings to go either way, so when you spread your cards out, you don't look at it and think, oh, that's reverse, that's the right way up, whatever. So if that's an issue for you, if that's important to you, then bear that in mind. I do not read with reversals, and I'm more concerned with the fact that I like the backing than I am with the fact that it's not reversible. So there's the first point. The second point that could be an issue for people is the fact that it is for all intents and purposes, a pit deck. Excuse me. There's no people, no scenes. There are a few of these cards that have hands in there, which is interesting. Now, I like the fact that it's a pip deck. I'm not fazed by that at all. What I do like about it is it's got written down the bottom what the card is. So I find that with a true pip deck, I'm always having to count, and I don't do Roman numerals, so I find that a bit confusing. I really do like some of the images. I think that is just gorgeous. And I'm big on the aces. That makes or breaks a deck for me. And I just absolutely love the aces in this deck. The colours are absolutely stunning. So there's an example of what I mean by just random limbs floating in and out. So if pip decks aren't your thing, then you might struggle a bit with this. If you're not fazed, or if you really like pip decks, then, you know, this is going to be a win for you. The next thing is the court cards. Now, these are very diverse in regards to the genders of the pages and the knights. They are diverse in races. They are diverse in sexuality. They are diverse in different shapes and sizes. Now, as far as court card goes, diversity doesn't bother me. I'm not fazed by that. I don't really pay much attention to who is in the court cards. Male or female as pages, you know, that's fine by me. I don't find that the diversity adds anything for me. as I've mentioned in a video where I talked about diversity in tarot, I'm not one of those who feels that it is important. I don't need it. I don't look for it. If you are after something that offers a wide range of diversity, this person has really put in a lot of effort and thought into making sure everyone and everything is covered. If you're looking for a deck with diversity, either for yourself or if you would like a diverse deck to offer to clients, consider it. Definitely. If you're not fussed, then, I don't think it needs to really be a deal breaker, because I can just ignore all these attempts at diversity. If it's important to you, then yeah, it's going to be a deal maker. So there is that to consider. Finally, let's talk about the major arcana. And frankly, this is where this deck initially lost me. In its attempts to be relevant and diverse and inclusive, calling this the Hanged One and having a woman hanging upside down, that actually was initially a deal breaker for me. This one card in this whole deck, I thought, was that necessary? And again, I cite my video on diversity in tarot, where I just don't think it's necessary. I feel that in her attempts here with regards to the major arcana to be diverse, to be different, it's kind of lost me. Here we have a literal death. This depiction speaks to me of a literal death, and to me that's just not what death is about. And I'm really struggled with this card as well. If I was to go through this deck without the keywords, I'd be thinking, what card is this supposed to be? This does not immediately speak to me of the moon. And to me, it doesn't matter whether it's a pip deck or not, whether you want to be diverse and inclusive or not. I like to be able to look at the cards and immediately identify with what the card is. I would like to look at this and immediately be able to say, yes, that's a moon. I get it. It's a different interpretation, but I get that it's the moon. Here, the Wheel of Fortune. She's made a very big attempt to be diverse, talking about the mother, the maiden and the crone, and they're all different colours and races. And I'm not entirely sure that this is actually a biological female. Please don't come at me. I'm just wondering if that's a transgender woman as opposed to a biological woman. My beef is that whole mother, maiden, crone cycle of life is not where I go to initially with the Wheel of Fortune. Having said that, it does add an element to the reading, and it could get you thinking outside the box of the Wheel of Fortune and get thinking about the wheel of a physical life, not the Wheel of Fortune as in literal fortune with luck. Your thoughts, really love to hear them. Having said this about the major arcana was sort of a bit of a deal breaker for me, I appreciate the attempt at diversity, and I'm actually considering hanging on to this for the sake of a client who perhaps it's more important to than it is to me. And, you know, if it's something that a client feels very strongly about, then I have these at my disposal. I've read with them for myself and actually got quite a good reading, taking into account the different takes on the cards that the artist has come up with. However, not initially my cup of tea, because, as I've said, the diversity is just not that important to me. However, as I said, there are some things that I think would be important to people looking for a new deck who have perhaps seen this on the shelves and are considering it and would like more insight. So if you've seen this deck and you've worked with it, I'd love to hear what are your thoughts. Based on what I've just said, I'd like to know, is this any of this a deal maker or deal breaker for you? All right, that's it for now. Take care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.